Hey guys, today we're going to be working with factoring quadratics. Again, we're going to be doing this for a while, but we're going to just change a little bit up. We're just going to add in one more step, and that is going to be kind of combining the stuff from last week with the greatest common factor into the stuff that we have been doing with the full kind of factoring stuff. I'm also going to go through both types of factoring again, so using both methods. You can use either method for anything, it doesn't really matter, between the factoring using the box method or the factoring using the grouping method. If you like one more than the other, go with that one. It doesn't actually really matter. But we're going to add in factoring out a greatest common factor first. So in this kind of example, I can look at this, and this actually would probably look pretty daunting at the beginning because we see all of these numbers are a lot bigger than maybe some of the ones that we've been working with. So we're going to try to make that a little bit easier. And the way we're going to do that is simply by taking out a greatest common factor. So I'm going to rewrite this one. And the thing I'm just going to go through, what is a number that goes into all three of these terms? Well, that is the number 3. 3 goes into 9, 3 goes into 42, and 3 goes into 24. So we can factor that out. We can pull that out. This instead, remember we divide everything. This instead becomes 3x squared minus 14x plus 8, because, 9 divided by 3 is 3, 42 divided by 3 is 14, 24 divided by 3 is 8. So we just made that a little bit easier to work with. Now, we're going to factor this thing inside. For now, we're going to kind of disregard that 3. That'll come up at the end, but for now, we're just going to work on this. So next, we're going to make that table. Remember, we have to have a times c. So a times c is 3 times 8. That's 24. And now we have to find the factors of 24 that would add up to negative 14. This is a negative number, and since that's positive, I know both of these have to be negative. So like negative 1 times negative 24 would be positive 24 and a negative number. That's not going to work. How about negative 4 and negative 6? Nope, that adds up to negative 10. And negative 12 times negative 2. That's actually going to work because negative 12 times negative 2 is positive 24, and negative 12 plus negative 2 is negative 14. So that works. For this one, I'm going to use the box method. It doesn't actually matter which method that we use, but I want to go through both again just so that we get a better handle on those. So I'm going to make my box 2. Remember, the first term goes up here, so 3x squared. The last term goes down here, so the 8 goes there. And then we're going to have these two things, so the negative 12 and the negative 2. So we have to break that down, figure out what goes on the sides. What I notice first is that this can break down into 3x and x. So I know an x goes in both places. And I have to figure out where I put that 3. So would I put the 3 here? Well, I gotta put the x's back into these. So I can't put the 3 there because 3 does not go into 2, but I can put it over here because 3 goes into 12. So 3 times what number is negative 12? Well, that would be negative 4. And x times what number is negative 2x? Well, that would be negative 2. So those are my factors on the sides. So that means this is going to be equal to x minus 4 times 3x minus 2, because those are the things. That's one side, that's the other side. Now, the last step, all I have to do, since I factored out some number at the beginning, and I do need these to be equal, I need to take that thing at the beginning and just write that in front, because you can't leave it. We got to bring that back. So we didn't really have to do any more work with it. We just have to remember to put it in our answer. Now, same kind of thing here. We're going to be factoring this. Again, these are some pretty big numbers, so we're going to try to make them a little bit easier. 32, 136, that's really big, and positive, or in negative 36. So here, we want to figure out what number goes into all 3 of these. 2 would go in all of them, but even bigger than that, we can divide all of them by 4. So divide everything by 4, so that gives us 8x squared minus 34x minus 9. Okay, so everything's a little bit less. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times negative 34 is negative 136. 4 times negative 9 is negative 36. So all of this would work out. We have to factor the stuff inside now. So again, ignore the 4 for now. We're going to factor the insides. So I make my table. The top is going to be a times c, or 8 times negative 9, which is negative 72. And now we have to find ways to get negative 72. So like, for instance, negative 1 times positive 72. We could do negative 2 times 36. That, when you add that up, equals positive 34, so that wouldn't work out. So if we flip it, and we made it negative 36 and positive 2, that's going to work out, because negative 36 plus 2 is negative 34, because you're adding a negative and a positive, so it gets less. And when you multiply them, you get negative 72, so that works out. So we have to arrange this. We're going to use factoring by grouping this time. So again, I'm going to take my 8x squared. Remember, I use these two numbers to split up that middle term. So minus 36x plus 2x. And then I have the minus 9, so I keep that thing. So I've split the middle up. Now I have to figure out what I can divide these by. Remember, I got to break these down into the two things themselves. So what is the greatest common factor here? Well, I know that 4x would go into 8x squared, and 4x would go into negative 36x. So divide both of those by 4x, and we are going to get 4x, or 8x squared divided by 4x is 2x. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. X squared divided by x is just x. Negative 36x divided by 4x is negative 9. That would work. And so for the second one, is there a number that goes into both 2 and 9? Actually, there's not. It seems kind of weird to factor this, but the only number I can pull out of that is 1. That's the greatest common factor there. So 2x divided by 1 is 2x. Negative 9 divided by 1 is negative 9. So check things. Are those two equal? Is everything inside of those equal? Yes, they are. And I have stuff outside of the parentheses. So I take the stuff outside of the parentheses. That is going to be one of my factors, 4x plus 1. And in the other factor, 2x minus 9. So that's almost my answer. We have to go over what the thing that is missing is. So we're missing just that 4 from the beginning. Remember, we got to bring that down and put it back into our answer. So that final thing there, that is going to be the answer. And that's how we factor things. So if you have to factor something that has a GCF first, that is how you do it. Make sure you take it out. Do one of these two methods, whichever one you seem to prefer at this point. And then remember to just put that number back into the answer. So take that number, put it back. And that's it. Good luck on the homework, guys. If you have questions, please come to office hours, and have a great day.